Other nations hoped the assembly line could do the same thing for their prosperity. Italy had only 250,000 cars in the 1920s, but Fiat in Turin set out to match Ford's productivity. Its large new plant was a wonder of its time, as shown in this early promotional film. From the factory floor, spiral concrete ramps led up to a test track on the roof.
Senator Agnelli and the plant manager and the production manager at the time were often in America and were on good terms with Ford. They would try out what Ford was doing there, and if it was possible, bring it here. In the beginning, the assembly line was run by hand, worked by the men. Later, they motorized the line with a chain.
As in American factories, the faster the chain pulled the car and engines along, the faster each man had to work.
One day my boss put a stopwatch in my hand and said, "Go and time how long it takes to do that job." One of the first people I had to time was a man who could have been my grandfather. He had the sort of long Chinese-style mustache people had then. The poor man was working away, and I was a young kid having to time him. It was awful. I couldn't do it and asked for a different job.
When they're turning round the corner, in comfort when the roads are badly laid, speeding along, sweet as a song comes the Ford.
Britain had more auto workers than any other European country. Ford had established a British factory in 1912.
Shining beauty all arrayed, speeding along, sweet as a song comes the Fords that have just been made.
Britain's largest domestic car maker, Morris, recruited workers from other industries to work in the pressed steel factory. Hayden Evans, a former coal miner, found the noise nearly unbearable.
My first impression was, what a terrible racket, what a terrible din. Gracious me, how can you possibly stick this? It's a bang, 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 with sounds from everywhere, you know, beating metal. It's hard to describe. Very hard to describe. You've got to be in it to appreciate, and yet I ended up on the machines that was making the loudest noise in the motorworks.
Giant presses had replaced the hammers of the early British craftsmen at Vulcan. But Morris did not yet have a moving line. Workers still moved the cars along themselves. And unlike Americans, who were paid by the hour, the British had no guaranteed income. They were paid on a piecework basis. If they fell behind, they lost pay. If they got ahead, it meant a bonus.
The harder you work, the more money you get. And I was fit and strong and willing, and I wanted to get there where the harder I worked, the more I'd have. I was only there, I only wanted, like other people, I was only there for one purpose, to get the money. There was houses being built all around Oxford, different estates, Sunnyside Estate, Florence Park Estates, different estates, and your one incentive was to get enough money to put a down payment on a house.
The automaking towns were islands of prosperity, even as the Depression started to grip the world. Other industries saw the economies of mass production and applied them to the manufacture of everything from batteries to vacuum cleaners, even cookies and biscuits.
There's a precision about this process that is utterly fascinating, and as one sees the orderly rows of biscuits to be moving steadily towards the ovens, one cannot help marveling at the ingenuity of it all. Approximately a mile of biscuits, 20 deep, passes through one oven in a day.